On tonight's episode of Obscured Reality, join us as we jump to our coordinates and take a look at the Randonautica app. Let's take a small dive into the history of the app and see what's really going on. Let's also take a look at a few stories that are kind of strange, as well as a personal story from your very own host, Mark, who had a strange experience using the Randonautica app. Fact or fiction, you be the judge. Sit down, sit back, and relax. And join us on our journey through Obscured Reality.
Welcome to another episode of Obscured Reality. Join your hosts, Mark and Stephanie, as they take you through a journey of the extraordinary, bizarre, and often frightening world of the unknown. Explore topics of the paranormal, UFOs, alien abduction, lost civilizations, mythical monsters, and other unexplained mysteries. Come along with us as we transcend into another dimension of obscured reality.
Welcome back to Obscured Reality. Stevie and Mark back at ya. How's it going, Stevie?
Pretty damn good.
Good to hear. Don't mind me while I turn the fan off. You guys don't have to hear that noise. All right. We may have an interesting show tonight. We may not. I'm going to let you pick, Stevie. But you're going to pick without knowing. Pick a number. 1 through 10. Any one of those 10 numbers.
It's my go-to.
It is. Well, let's see what 6 gives us. Okay.
Computer says.
It says Randonautica. Have you heard of that?
Yes.
I know you guys have. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Randonautica,
I have questions.
Y'all.
I have questions, but I have heard.
You don't have questions. You're just scaredy cat.
I have questions. Like, the hell's the difference between the blind spot and the other one that I can't think of right now? Yeah. Like, it's questions about the apps. Like, what the hell does any of this mean?
Gotcha. Yeah. I'm the same way. Well, I'm sure y'all out there have used it. If you have, comment. If you got an interesting story there or just what you think about it, I'm curious. I do have we'll go through this. It's a fairly quick show tonight. There's a couple Randonautica stories at the end of things that have been claimed. I have a story of my own from using Randonautica, and I will say it was fucking strange. I was very surprised. For me, it doesn't give Randonautica any more or any less credibility, but it was strange. I will admit, 100%. So I'll tell you what happened at the end. I'll give you my story. So Randonautica, it was launched in February 22nd, 2020. It was founded by Auburn Salcido and Josh Langfelder. It randomly generates coordinates that enable the user to explore their local area and report on their findings. According to its creators, the app is an attractor of strange things. I will say, strange things attracted me when I tried it, and I got a witness. So 2020 it was created. I could have sworn it started a few years before that, but obviously not. So the app has a cult following on YouTube and TikTok, and there is a subreddit made by the creators for the users of the app. Obviously, y'all probably know all that already. The app had, as of July 2020, so 5 months after they created it, it had as many as 10.8 million users within
That's insane.
5 months.
That's
crazy.
Insane.
Yeah. That's how popular it was. And users started reporting coincidences, which many find unsettling. So, 10.8 million in 5 months. Now, I'm sure like a huge ass chunk of those, probably half or more, were people hearing stories and like, what's this all about? And reading about it and seeing what it is and downloading it and maybe trying it once or twice. But ultimately, it's probably just a dead app sitting on their phone now, or they've deleted it,
I mean, you do have to do like a weekly subscription or monthly or yearly. So,
Well, it's changed over the years. I know that because I used to be able to go out and do it, which I tried a few times. But then all of a sudden, one day, sometime in the last year, maybe, it's like, oh, you must pay me. So I know it's changed around on how that worked. So the most trending controversy, I'm sure you all have heard this, it involves a group of people heading to a beach in Duwamish Head, Puget Sound, West Seattle, where they found a bag with 2 dead bodies, 27 and 36-year-old male and female, as reported by the Seattle Police homicide detectives. This one is very true. This one happened. Obviously, you can't prove really that they were using Randonautica and it really led them there, whatever. I'm sure it did. But this really happened. I mean, police went out there, they snatched up the bodies. But 2 bodies in a bag. Well, and a bag. And a bag.
Or in a bag?
Yeah, it says
that's a
found
big
a bag,
bag.
with 2 dead bodies. It doesn't say in it.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I mean, I've never gone as far as doing that to people and seeing how much will fit chopped up or not. So I got no clue, man.
Look, I mean, a human body, no matter what way you chop it and fold it, it's still going to take up a decent amount of like room. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm thinking it can't even be a trash bag, even if 2 would fit. There's no way, because obviously it wouldn't be strong enough to hold that kind of weight.
Right.
And you're talking about fluid also, probably. So I'm like, what the hell kind of bag is this?
Right. Huh.
So this has caused speculation that the app has an intended puzzle-like theme. However, Langfelder stated that it is, quote, a shocking coincidence. So, it tells me he's kind of probably admitting it's just a coincidence. This is just an app for fun, blah, diddy, blah, and that's that. But people are having real experiences. Not everyone. I'm sure it's the few out of the many. But, if you could actually take a look at that data and see, I'd be curious to see how many coincidences have popped up, how many times, how many people have used the app in the last month. Let's take the people that have used it at least 10 times in the last month and look at each of those 10 times from each of those people and see how many came up with a strange experience from using this, and look at that data and see how many coincidences we're looking at. Because as we know, you can only have so many coincidences before it's not a coincidence. And that is subjective to any given story. It's not the same for anything,
Right.
So, Salcido also called the videos fake. So the videos he'd been seeing, calling them fake, and that, quote, it's so hard to manage because people are really taking creative liberties after seeing how much traction the app is getting in that fear factor. So, there's a guy I used to once in a while watch on YouTube when I was watching it a little more, and he's some kid in another country, and they go out and create their own little stories. Some of them were like multi-episodes, or they always go out and explore abandoned buildings and all that, and they're finding people tied up or dead bodies, or someone's trying to jump them and cops are involved, all this bullshit. Yeah, it's just fake. You can totally tell.
That's kind of cute. That's kind of cool, creating their own little show.
Yeah.
That's cute.
I'm sure.
I like that.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd admit it's fake. Whatever. It's not that it's real, but at one point he started doing some Randonautica videos, and where he'd pull it up on his app, and either himself or him and a friend, go out and go to some coordinates and see what's going on. And of course, every time something crazy happens and this and that. So those are the
on
types
today's
of videos.
adventure.
Yeah. those are basically the types of videos one of the creators here is my guess referring to, not this guy specifically, but videos such as that where people are getting creative with it. And I share this kid I'm seeing, he's not really going to those locations. He's not really pulling up coordinates on Randonautica. He probably is because he's showing it real quick, but he's not really going there. They're going to where they've set up. Yeah, they're going to where they've set up their little skit, and that's that, which is fine. It's entertaining, So let's look at a couple stories. Yeah, we only got 2 stories here.
Okay.
Nothing what I found was really that good. So I grabbed these 2, and then I'll tell you my story. It was definitely weird. So the first one, they called it A Group of Weird People. Oh, such a catchy name.
I mean, that's society, pretty much, at this point.
Well, American group of weird people. You mean?
Yes.
Right.
I mean, I work with these people face to face every day. That's the general population of America. A group of weird
Everybody's
people.
cracking since COVID.
Woo! Oh man.
Yeah. Well, let's take a look at the first story here. A group of weird people. So, a video captured by Benjamin Hicks and a TikToker. I'm sorry, Benjamin Hicks is a TikToker, guys. He uploaded a video. It has a strange and frightening ending. It started with a pair of teenagers exploring an abandoned convent after being directed there by Randonautica. Afterward, the girl decided to dance. While dancing, the boy filming the girl noticed an odd figure behind the girl. Oh, what a coinkydink. So they decided to go near the odd shapes. At first, they saw an odd fixture. As they got closer, they saw a group of people standing with their heads down, resembling cult-like activity. The video ended with the pair and viewers wondering just what exactly they'd seen. I call bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm out at the beginning of that. I will still read the story. It's interesting, but you can easily call bullshit right at the beginning. They step out of the convent to go leave, and his girlfriend just decides to start dancing. Like,
that's where you lost me.
You only see that
too,
shit in TV shows. Yeah, you only see that shit in TV shows, movies, and YouTube videos. That's not a real thing unless you're drunk. I get it. There's very few people, male or female. I picture the only real people doing that is like your more lighthearted, airy kind of go with the wind type of people. I could maybe picture one of them. This just reads as complete bullshit.
Yeah.
And then the fact that they leave the convent and
creature behind them.
Well, no, she starts to dance, so he decides he's going to start videoing her, and it's like, well, obviously he already saw she started dancing, and now while he's just looking out of his own 2 eyes, not looking through a camera, he doesn't notice shit back there, right? This group of people just stand there with their heads down that clearly didn't just run into place. Of course, he doesn't notice them. But now she starts dancing. Oh, let me pull out my phone or my camera and start recording her, and that's when he notices it. It's like, yeah. I'm just saying, I know it's fake, right? But you could come up with a little bit better.
Bad, scary movie where they're like, oh, let's check it out. And the girlfriend's like, no. And then the boyfriend's the first one to get his head cut off. And she's like, yeah. It's like, that's the exact
door, guys.
That's the exact setup for that. And those are the types of movies I can't stand watching. I don't like pop out and scare you. Like, I know it's fake. I know it's coming, but it still gets me every time. And it makes me so ungodly angry. I can't stand it. Because I hate
you should try Randonautica.
Yeah, I totally should. Okay, but seriously, question. So you have used it. Pulling it open, I just want to I have questions. Like, what is the difference between?
Don't ask. I'm as lost as you. I don't know what any of this shit in there means.
I literally made my username. What is this?
I just pick something and pull up a coordinate, and I've only used it a couple times. And
point finder. Yeah, like what's an anomaly versus a blind spot? What's a quantum versus a pseudo? Like,
yeah, I have.
I just need some direction.
Yeah, I'm not about to memorize that shit, but you just pick something and go the coordinates. It doesn't fucking matter, you know. It's just fun to do. But
Power.
hey, well, let's look at the second story here. Um, this one was titled "Crime Scene Potentially Found While Using Randonautica." The last on the list of the terrifying things found by users while utilizing this, we have Nick Crowley, who is a YouTuber. He chronicles crime and supernatural incidents. When he tried Randonautica, he supposedly found a crime scene. To be specific, he received coordinates and found himself in a spot filled with police vehicles. Clearly, something serious happened in that place. Now, I mean,
That's a little on point for him. A little too on key.
given what he does, chronicles crime and supernatural incidents. Yeah, hello. But you don't know who's writing these articles. You don't know who's writing these stories and how
That's
they're
very
writing
true.
them, right? So it's like if you were to go watch his YouTube, I bet you could totally tell it's all fake. Obviously, he's doing it for fun. It's entertaining, whatever. That's fine. Um, but it's like, well, who is it here that's putting the story out as if maybe there's something to it? There's not.
Yeah.
But then again, we have my story,
Which
and
I'm so excited to hear.
I can say for a fact something fucking strange happened. I was not expecting. I was just like, you got to be fucking kidding me. So I had heard about it and I downloaded it. I'm checking it out. I'm like, whatever. So one day in the morning, we took the kids to school, came home. Actually, I think it was on the way home. I'm like, I told her that my wife that morning. I'm like, let's try this. I'm curious, and she's kind of interested in that stuff. Like, she's not going to do it, but she'll do haunted house, shit like that, and stuff like this is interesting, right? So I'm like, let's just try it. I'm curious. Oh yeah, okay. So pull something up, boom, and it takes us to this housing tract of apartments or condos nearby, a few miles away, but we were already a few miles away. So I'm like, okay, so we drive over there, and so just to give you the layout of the street, you're on the main street, and when you turn to go into this tract of apartments or condos, I think they're condos. As you're turn off the main street to go in, the new street you're on now is very short. Doesn't go far, and it dead ends. You can only go left or right within these condos, apartments, right? Not a big deal. And there's I don't remember if there's a stop sign there. So we're on the main street, following the map, and we come in, and the coordinates were very close to where we had stopped. Not far from there. They were like right there. We turn in off the main street, and as we're coming up to the intersection within the track where you can only go left or right, there's a dude, I think it was like an Asian guy, he's an older guy, walking a dog. He was on the sidewalk to our left over here. He was walking this way and started walking in the street. So we're coming up to stop, and he's going across the street. And I don't know what happened, but he was yelling at the dog, and I'm telling you, I've never seen someone yank a fucking leash on a dog that hard in my life. It was enough where I rolled down the window and said something to him because I was like, what the fuck? Like, I've never seen anyone do that. We clearly were there. Like, there's no way he didn't see a car just pulled up, right?
Wow. Yeah.
And I rolled the window down. I was like, I forgot exactly what I said, but it was basically like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like, that's abuse. And he was like, oh, no, whatever, and took off. And I was like, what the fuck? Out of my many years of life, never once witnessed that. I don't know how many dog parks I've been to, how many places I've seen dogs. I've never seen someone act like that with a dog in public. And I'm like, that's really odd, because it was right where it took us. Of course, you're using something like Randonautica. Your first thought in seeing something like that is like, it makes you think. It really makes you fucking think. However, you also have to, what do we say on the program? PFEs, proof,
Mm-hmm.
facts,
Yep.
evidence, and look at all this shit. And well, what are the facts? The facts are I used an app 10 minutes ago to pull up this location, and for this to be a real thing from Randonautica, right? It really pulled up this strange situation. For that to happen, it would have had to mental telepathy from the app to this guy and puts him in a trance, and I go walk my
Some
dog,
higher
and
transcendent power, like,
yeah,
send
and
them
waits till
here.
that exact
Yeah.
second when we pull up and just fucking rips that dog's head off
Send
with
them
that
here.
leash.
Send them there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you look at it with common sense, critical thinking,
Mm-hmm.
there's no way. But that's fucking strange, man. That's
Yeah.
really weird when you pull something up from an app like that and you
Mm-hmm.
go, and sure as shit, I was expecting nothing, and
Mm-hmm.
I've always thought with Randonautica, like, I want to know how they make the app work. Does it just pull up random spots within uh
A set
within
distance.
within whatever distance,
Yeah.
whatever radius you choose? Does it just literally pull up random spots, or have they maybe linked it with something like Google Maps and say, okay, um, pick spots that Google Maps has this or this or this in there? Maybe they've looked up statistics of particular numbers, right? Maybe having to do with home addresses, particular numbers where strange things always occur with these numbers, right? And okay,
Yeah.
Randonautica, always put them near an address if it winds up being near an address, one that has these numbers and whatever, like, I want to know their data, how they do this. Is it purely
Yeah.
random, or is they how's my English,
It's
guys?
they.
Did
That's
they
it's great.
did they did they put more into it, to make it
Mm-hmm.
think a little more? If so, then I have some questions. But there's no way I could have pulled that up, gone there, and this guy happens to be walking across the street. There's no way that's a real thing because of Randonautica. It's just impossible,
I feel like I will be
you
doing
know?
this Sunday on my off day. I just
I mean, I
cashed in.
would.
By the way, y'all get free tokens, 150. So,
Uh,
yep, free
well,
daily
don't go
tokens.
don't go onto private property,
Yes,
like
please don't
buildings,
trespass.
people's homes,
Yeah.
shit like that. But
Mm-hmm.
you know, pick
And
and choose
please
when
be
you do it,
safe. If it does send you
right?
to a abandoned nunnery, please, for the love of God, don't go in there. Don't go into
Yeah.
abandoned buildings. Like, you don't know what you're gonna run up against, and it's not worth getting fucking stabbed by a
Or
crackhead.
or do and send us the video. obscuredr1@gmail.com. Yeah,
And that was
no,
the last they heard of him.
yeah, I'm just saying, like, hey,
Yeah,
if you're gonna
please be
go
safe.
Sunday, go in the morning when it's cool. Don't go
Mhm.
when it's dark.
Bring water,
But uh,
good shoes.
be mindful of where it takes you and whether you're gonna want to get out of the car or not,
Mm-hmm.
because you don't know how they set the app up. You know,
Mm-hmm.
what if they took crime data statistics and put that in with this shit anywhere crimes have happened, and it's giving you coordinates where crimes have fucking happened? Well, clearly that has a probably high potential of putting you in an area with more crime. You never know.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
I'm not saying it does. My point is,
Mm-hmm.
what is the data behind what they're doing? How they created this? Purely random, or did they use some type of data
To
that
trigger like an
helps figure it
algorithm.
out
Yeah.
where to give you a coordinate for, other
Hmm.
than just the radius you selected?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I really want to know that now because of my experience. Of course, there's no way that was because of Randonautica, but it's really goddamn weird. What are the
Yeah.
chances? Well, I'd have to go try it again and again and again and again and
Mm-hmm.
again and see what happens. But, there's some places it puts you. I'm not going out in the middle of nowhere. I'm not
Yeah.
going out into the mountains 5 miles away here.
Yep.
It
That's why I'm
depends.
really
If it's
glad you
open and I
can
can
set
see
like
it, I
the
will.
radius. like it's the smallest radius you can do is like a kilometer from where you are.
Yeah, but you'll
Yeah.
see it's going to still give you some weird fucking spots. You'll still find something with nothing around. I guarantee it. You're gonna find that little drainage channel that's not used anymore. It's used for a running path that's set down from the street like 20 feet. So you're running. People might go bike riding or running down there. I'm just saying that because we have one by us, but it's totally overgrown with trees and stuff. And you always have weird shit happening down there. Like you're gonna get places like that are
Huh.
in the middle of everything, but away from everything. You're going to get spots where I don't know if I should
Okay.
go alone. Maybe bring 3 or 4 people. Like do it.
Okay.
And,
I'm intrigued and excited now.
yeah, do it. And let me know.
Yes.
But
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
curious.
Do an update show next week.
Yeah, yeah. But those are the questions I have. I've heard some stories. The main one was that murder where they found those bodies, and that was real. And but again, with those people, I want to know how close were the coordinates to where those bodies were. How close were those coordinates to where they were actually standing when they saw those bodies? Like the coordinates don't have to be on those bodies, but I want to know, were they standing as exact as they could be on those coordinates and looking around and they could see the bodies from there? If so, I'm curious. If not, how far away were the coordinates? My guess is they were fairly close. Otherwise, they probably wouldn't have seen them. But
Right.
that really happened. I mean, you can't tell me that's not odd. Strange, weird, doesn't mean anything. But,
It's a strange coincidence for sure.
yeah.
Yes.
Well, as I always say, how many coincidences do you need?
Currently, we just have one.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, how many coincidences do you need before it's not a coincidence? Go try it out a bunch of times, 10, 20 times, and take notes and see, because coincidences are subjective. It's different for every story. You can't assign a number 2 or 3 or 4 is acceptable for everything. It's completely subjective. So I don't know. Maybe I'll go try it out soon when I have some free time.
Yes.
Maybe.
Maybe. I'm kind of excited. This is interesting because there are some spots that we have that are like in the middle of everything, but away from everything as well. Like we have an old river walk that has pretty much washed away at this point, but there's still the old stairs to go down to it. So it just essentially goes down to like the water's edge and like crumbled pieces of like the old river walk from like 100 years ago. So like we have places like that. So I'm pretty curious because some of those stairs are overgrown and fucking creepy. So it'll be kind of cool to see where it leads me.
Yeah. I pulled one up probably in the last 6-8 months or so. I just pulled one up and let me try it again. It took me nearby. It was right behind some office building, and the spot it had was right between the office building and the sidewalk on the main street right there. It was just right there in the grass. I didn't get out, but I just drove by, and then I pulled in the parking lot and looked, behind the alley or behind the building while I was in the car, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. I don't see anything from here. I'm not getting out, but who knows? Hey, what if they use data from the geocaching stuff? What if they were able to collaborate and get data from that? That right there, you could find weird things,
So smart. Yeah, I have I used to have a trial to the or a membership to the geocaching, but I never ended up using it. Like I'm an idiot for that. I don't know. Like that is one thing I really want to do, but sometimes I see some of the caches that people have hidden and created like on the geocaching Instagram, and I'm like, I would never find that. I would be so angry just being like, what the fuck, in the middle of a field on the side of a highway trying to find like some fake piece of like wood on like one of them rails and people are flying by me. Like that I've seen shit like that and I'm good.
I think you'd get bored pretty quick with it because it's like,
I would
it's
get
just
mad.
Shit
I would rage quit.
Yeah. You're already going to do it so many times where you're like, okay, well, how much more randomly placed things can I find that are just people's old trinkets or crap?
I guess some people really like the riddles and I get it, but I'm just not I'm not good at them, so it's not my deal. Yeah.
If it's all about riddles, that's a little different. What I've seen.
Well, you have to figure out like you have the coordinates, but it also like gives you hints and clues as to like where it is and like what you're looking for, the size of the actual container, and then there's usually like a list of names inside of it, or like a collection of random shit, like take something, leave something, or like you sign this list of people who have been there. And then you can always update it through the app, like, hey, the owner of this needs to come, like either replace something, fix it, it's missing, etc. It's actually kind of cool. Great little community, but the geocaching thing makes sense a lot because they're everywhere randomly as fuck.
Yeah. I think that's just a good idea, or a good idea of explanation of how it could be done. Not saying it is, but that's just like the idea that's going through my head is something like that. Like you could definitely possibly see something weird then, you know, and think it's more weird than it is. But who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? Randonautica. I want to hear after you try it and see what happens.
For sure.
Hear what happens.
Yes.
So you better update.
I will.
Guys, like, share, subscribe. If you used Randonautica, comment down below. Let us know what you think about it. Real, fake, bullshit, who knows? Let us know. Hey, if you got personal stories of your own, shoot us an email at obscuredr1@gmail.com. If you have personal stories, you did some Randonauticas and you did more than one and really strange shit happened every single time. UFOs, UAPs, Bigfoot, you know, anything obscure, shoot them over to that email. Type story in the subject line so we know what it is. We'll tell your story on here anonymously. If you want to come on and tell your story,
that would be awesome.
We'd love to have you do it yourself and talk to you. Just audio only is fine. Doesn't have to be a face with it. But we'd love to have you on. Stevie, hit that bell.
Kaya, tell them to ring that bell. Say I'm cute. Say ring that bell so they get the notifications every Friday at 5 p.m., 8 p.m. Eastern Pacific time. Sometimes we have them randomly throughout the week as well. But normally, every Friday. So if you really like what we do, please subscribe. It helps us out a lot. And really look forward to hearing from you and seeing your comments in future videos.
True that. Well said. Better than I could. All right. With that, we're out of here. Peace.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to check back with us often for new episodes. Feel free to drop a comment and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Obscured Reality.